This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, how there, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And the birthday boy for today, December the 16th, is a lesser-known brother of a famous Baltimore Oriole. Yes, he played for the Orioles too, and he was with his brother while they were managed by their father. But I gotta give this guy some credos and all that. He is Billy Ripken. He's 58 years old today. And he played baseball from 1987 to 1998, having a few stints with the Baltimore Orioles and a few stints with the Texas Rangers. He actually is a studio analyst for the MLB Network. So anyway, Billy is the younger brother of Cal Ripken Jr. So Ripken was born a Cal Sr. They were on the move because Cal Sr. was a coach for the Orioles organization. He wasn't the manager, but he was a coach. So Bill attended Aberdeen High School playing baseball, and he was pretty good as a pitcher. Anyway, he was going to be drafted in the 1982 MLB draft. Billy's older brother, Cal, who was playing for the Orioles and was going to win Rookie of the Year with them, said, Billy might go pretty high in the draft. I want the Orioles to take him. That would be okay, wouldn't it, having your father and brother with the same team? But the weird thing is, no one took Billy Ripken until the 11th round, and that team was Baltimore. So anyway, he went through rookie ball and went through the minor league system. He was called up July 1987 when Rick Burleson was released by the Orioles. So Ripken was called up. So anyway, on July 11th, it became the first time in baseball history that a father would manage two sons in the major leagues on the same team. Cal was the shortstop. Billy would play second base. His first hit was against Charlie Lieber on July 16th. And then he had his first home run against the Royals 3 days later when he beat Bud Black. Ripken would have a 308 batting average in 58 games with the Orioles. He was given the second base role and would be the double play combination with Cal Jr. So it would be shortstop to second base, double play combination. It was huge and all that. So anyway, after Cal Sr. was fired, after 6 games into the season, which is actually the fastest in Major League history, which was shocking enough, Billy switched his number from number 3 to number 7, saying, I don't want anyone in the organization wearing that number because of his father. So it was like shocking. Now the thing is, even though Cal Sr. was fired at 0-6, the Orioles still kept losing. They actually ended up being 0-21 to start the season. Can you believe it? 0-21? Not even the 62 Mets or the 2003 Detroit Tigers, who have the most losses in the American League and National League, respectively, in a season, did that. Billy was actually on the cover of Sports Illustrated May 2nd, 1988, with a cover story about the Orioles sucking so badly. The Orioles would only win 54 games that year. Billy would play 150 games, and his rookie campaign wasn't even close to the Rookie of the Year voting. Unfortunately, he would have some injury woes in 1989 when the Orioles were making a big stance to become the AL East champion. Not Boston, not Milwaukee, not Yankees, and not Toronto. Unfortunately, though, for the Orioles, the Jays were Seattle gassed and blew past them. Well, Ripken did have the third best fielding percentage in the American League, but he only played 115 games. Ripken had his most successful campaign offensively in 1990, going 291 and actually having 28 doubles, tying his brother Cal for the doubles lead. It looked pretty good. Unfortunately, though, injuries would hurt and all that. The Orioles were terrible. Ripken didn't play a lot of games, and his brother was the MVP of the American League. So Ripken had to share second base with Mark McLemore, And after the 92 season, the Orioles got Harold Reynolds, which ended Ripken's days with the team. So the Orioles decided to release him. And then in Texas, he would be the guy after Jeff Fry injured his knee, so they needed a second baseman. So they went with Ripken. He was the second baseman, losing it to Dec16, and went back to shortstop. But unfortunately, injuries would hurt him deeply. And he didn't play too many games in the 94 season because of the baseball strike. So Ripken would sign for Cleveland, the 95 Tribe that looked pretty good with 100 wins, 44 losses. But unfortunately, he spent the entire season with the Bisons. And, Ripken would come up to the majors if one of their infielders were injured, but that didn't happen. In September, he was called up because of the free call-ups and only batted in 8 games. He went back to Baltimore for the 96 season. He was signed to a minor league contract. But he made the team out of spring training and was third baseman for a while after Surhoff got hurt. So he played 57 games for the Orioles and all that, and did pretty good. Billy would not be part of the Orioles playoff roster, which sucked. He became a free agent and went back to Texas. In fact, he holds a historic mark. He's the first player to get an RBI in an interleague game after getting a single off of Mark Gardner of the Giants. So, yeah, he got the first RBI ever. So he was a shortstop for Benji Gill. But he had a herniated disc 5 days later and couldn't really play a lot. Detroit signed him to the starting shortstop position because of Davey Pearce's injury. But unfortunately, Ripken was placed on the DL with a knee injury himself. And the Tigers decided to release him instead of reinstating him. Ripken chose to retire. It was just bad that Billy Ripken had so many DL stints, and Cal had played in over 2,600 consecutive games. However, Billy and Cal were one of only 4 brother combinations in history, and the last one to play second base and shortstop on the same club. The Hamner brothers of Garvin and Granny in 1945. Twins Eddie and Johnny O'Brien for the Pirates in the 50s, and Frank and Milt Bowling for the Tigers in 1958. So anyway, yeah, he married someone in 1989 and have 2 daughters and 2 sons. So he's a stadium analyst for MLB Network. He actually owns the Aberdeen Ironbirds, the Augusta Green Jackets, and the Charlotte Stonecrabs minor league teams, and all that. Anyway, yeah. He would do some baseball instructional books. He was actually the first base coach for the U.S. team in the 2009 World Baseball Classic. Ripken's mother actually was even kidnapped at gunpoint in 2012. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But Billy Ripken did his job. But I know a lot of people are saying, well, you know Billy Ripken for something different. You do, because Billy Ripken and his famous 1989 Fleer baseball card. Ripken's Fleer card showed him holding a bat with the expletive fuckface in plain view on the knob of the bat. Obviously, the picture you see, it has the black text, has the black square over it. Obviously, I don't want to risk trouble. So anyway, Fleer needed to correct the error, and in their haste, released versions. They released versions that the text was scrolled over with a marker, whited out with correction fluid, and airbrushed. But the black box was the final corrected version. But a lot of those versions were collector's items as a result. There are 10 variations of the card. The original card's price went up to several $1,000s. Ripken said he did write the expletive on the bat. But he did it because it was a batting practice and accidentally used that instead of a normal bat. All that. But anyway, yeah. So, yeah, that's what he's doing for a weird baseball card. Oh, well. Better than nothing. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond, dude.